With housing unaffordable, Unloan is trying to make an ad that's undepressing.
And it's really not a real baby. I can even touch the stars. Look around and see a place. It's all a piece of all kinds. We're living on a cloud. Let me see how far we go. We'll take it all the way.
I'm underwhelmed. But I love this twist ending. It was a CommBank ad all along. The ad is so unbelievable. The only realistic bit was when the housing market made her want to jump off a building. Russell. Russell, will this make us unhate the banks?
There's so much to say about this ad.
Yeah, OK, then say it.
OK, so I'll do my best. Yeah. I've always liked the idea for banks to actually not be the lead in what they create, right? So have a savings brand, have a loan brand, have a mortgage brand, have a long-term brand, long-term savings brand. Put all your effort in the creation of the product that I'm actually going to buy. I don't buy a CommBank, I buy a loan, or I have a savings account, and there's nowhere near enough branding of product which is distributed by one of the banks. I've always believed that was a really interesting way for banks to go, and they don't do it, although now we see unloan. If you're going to call yourself an unloan, that means you're not like a normal loan. So I would imagine. So therefore the advertising has actually got to be clear on why is this loan an unloan, right? I like the name. I mean, there's a long history of, in marketing and advertising. It's sort of a strategy which is used a lot. 7-Eleven was the original uncola, Will. So we love the notion of we love the notion of unloan, therefore you're different to a loan. I love the idea of that's the brand, not CommBank. That's all cool. But then I'm imagining that let's say I'm a 30-year-old, is the individual that's in that. OK, so I'm 30. Now, it's really very hard to be 30 in Australia, right? In fact, it's the hardest it's ever been for a 30-year-old in Australia, in Australia's history. It is true 30-year-olds are going to be less well off than their parents are. That's a fact. It's a fact that when I was 30, the house cost me 3 times my salary. Now, 8 times plus for a 30-year-old is what it's going to cost you to get into the housing market. It's true that HEX has doubled in the last 15 years, right? Doubled from a $15,000 bill to a $30,000 bill. It's true that a baby boomer paid half the tax that a 30-year-old pays now when they were 30 years of age. So the reality is it is extremely difficult to be a 30-year-old in Australia right now.
Russell, this is good stuff. If this finishes with, and the only way to get out of this is for big banks to advertise more.
And the only way to get out of this is for the unloan to be really an unloan. Like, what actually is it that's going to help that 30-year-old literally have that aspirational life that they're appealing to in the advertising?
Can I help you out a little bit? I reckon everything you're saying is right. Unloan is a really good idea. A low-interest home loan, fantastic. The world needs it. Why would you wrap that up in incomprehensible garbage that ad was? I have no idea what the brand was advertising to me, and I have no idea what the product was. When you've got a cheap home loan through a new business model, just tell us that.
For me, I find it's like it's a corporate hype film that was trying to be all hip and start-uppy that was actually played maybe internally at CommBank, and they've used the latest visual effects and maybe last decade's choreography and haven't told you anything about the product. Like when you go online and have a look, it's actually quite innovative. You know, it is a mortgage that they give you a discount on your rate for every year that you're with them, so they reward you. But that doesn't come through in that at all. And I don't need them to like really, really spell it out, but I got nothing about that in that sort of bewildering cloud
There is something
fest.
unusual with the product in that it actually helps you pay off your mortgage.
Over time,
Right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
most mortgages don't do that, right? They're not actually helping you get there faster. So I just think that they've bought into maybe an old-fashioned model, an old-fashioned advertising model, in that you create brand advertising and then underneath that you'll use other mediums in order to, provide more context around what the product's actually about or the brand's all about. I just don't know that you need to do that these days. Like with your one shot, say what you need to say.